Today, you're going to learn how to blow up your personal brand in the next 30 days so you can become the go-to expert and leader in your niche and dominate the competition. Because in a world where every niche is oversaturated and overcrowded, it's not your expertise, it's not the years of experience, it's not your skill set, it's not even the client results that's going to set you apart. It's going to be a strong and authentic brand. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Arv. I was a physiotherapist and clinic owner for 10 years until I decided to sell off my practice after growing a following of over 350,000 people online combined. I've helped over 300 health professionals and coaches double their pay, cut their face-to-face hours, and earn and work from anywhere in their digital health businesses. If you'd like to learn more about how I can help you do the same or how my clients make over 6 figures a year online, feel free to give me a follow on Instagram at Arvaflores. I'll leave the link in the description below. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to start with is showing you big names in niches in the health and fitness space. Now this can be translatable into your niche, whether it's knitting, finance, business, but I just want to show you some big names in each of these niches, right? So on the left here, we have bodybuilding and we have Big Daddy C-Bum. On the right here, we have flexibility niche where we have David Thurin. We have weight loss with Dr. Rachel Paul, running with Matt Choi. We got healthcare with Dr. Mike, and we got physical therapy with Jeff Cavalier. Now you can probably see these are big names, right? They don't have 50,000 followers. They have 25.8 million followers. They have 2.7. You know, Rachel with 1, Matt Choi at 400,000. So these people have a lot of people behind them. Now, in every single niche that you can probably see, there is going to be the leaders, the go-tos. And the question you might be asking yourself now, if you're someone who's just starting in this online space or someone who's been already creating content and you want to start to really get to that next level, how in the world are you going to compete with the top 1% or the leaders in your niche if you don't have 25 million people following you? Well, the common mistake that most people think, or most people try to do to stand out, is these 4 here. A lot of people think for them to stand out in comparison to all of these leaders in their industries and niches, that they have to focus on their expertise. So what people do is they go study more. They get more years of experience under their belt. They start to build their skill set. They increase their qualifications. And they start to really focus on building this underneath their belt to the point where, you know, they think they're good enough to then start to, you know, share what they know and start to really show up online to try to compete with all of these people that you see in front of you. But the problem with this is that this is all transactional. In a world where you have access to information in a blink of an eye, right? People can get access to all sorts of information online just by ChatGPT, Google, TikTok, wherever you want to use your search engines. They can get access to knowledge. And the reason why this is not going to set you apart is because the people that you see in front of you here, yes, some of these are pro athletes and yes, they know what they're talking about, but I guarantee you there are people out there with only 1,000 followers, 100 followers who are better, smarter, more skilled, more of an expert than these people you see in front of you. But the difference, which we'll go into a bit later, is going to be one simple thing that you can start to do in your content into your online business if you want to really grow in this online space, right? So that's the number one mistake, is most people want to try to compete on expertise, years of experience, skill set, and qualifications. When in reality, these people you see in front of you aren't the best of the best. There are people out there 10 times better than these people. I mean, look, C-Bum's the man, but you get what I mean. Now, in regards to gurus, right? You know, people online who's, you know, in this space of helping you create better content, build online businesses, be able to scale coaching business XYZ. Most gurus will tell you, just copy and paste what people are doing. Find things that are already working and start to just copy and paste the exact content piece, the exact offer, the exact products. Just literally carbon copy of things that are working. They'll also tell you to do better. So what that means is that they'll tell you, find the best performing content pieces, the influencers that you want to become, or the people you look up to, and just try to analyze their content and do better. Do 1% better, 2% better. They'll also tell you, focus on educational tips, tricks, and strategies, things that people can get value from. How many times have you heard that? Value content, right? Gary Vee, it's like, just give so much value. Alex Hormozi, give so much value, right? And then they also dive into quality of content. So some gurus out there are going to tell you, you need $10,000 camera setups, you need all this fancy lighting, right? To be able to stand out against these top leaders in the industry and niches that you want to get into. When in reality, right, all of this can work, but it's a super hard grind. It will take you forever to catch up to these people in front of you now. Forever, right? And the reason why is because this is what's not going to set you apart. This is what's not going to set you apart. Don't do better, be different. And this is why being only 1% better, 2% better, right? People don't want better, they want different. And the one thing I want you to focus on with this whole space is that people buy coaches, not coaching programs. People buy you. You are the value. If you are someone who wants to educate, teach, right? You want to sell a digital product. If someone tomorrow steals all of that from you and they try to do the exact same thing you're doing, I guarantee you, everyone who's already working with you won't move over to that next coach. They won't move over to that next person because of the fact they value you. So if we go full screen for a second, I just want to show you the personal brand that I built of over 250,000 followers under the name PhysioBay. And the reason I was able to grow in such a narrow, small niche in the physiotherapy space was because I made content I actually enjoyed watching, which was content that was very visual and tactile. You can see here, I did 9.6 million views with this video. And this wasn't just a one-time lucky video. I had multiple videos over 10 million views. If you want it, you can go check it out on my TikTok here, right? And the reason why, again, this was able to happen is because I didn't follow and copy people in my industry and niche. I stayed true to what I enjoyed watching, right? Authenticity, doing things that actually excite you. And after building this brand in the span of 4 to 6 months, in 6 months' time, I was able to turn this into a 6-figure business. And at that time, I ran a consulting education business, helping health professionals specifically create content so they too could build a powerful personal brand. And at that time, there were so many other people in the space, right? Other coaches or other educators who were more skilled than I was. They had more talent, a lot better than I was, right? I wasn't the expert at sales, marketing, content strategy, but I knew that I had enough to take someone from point A to B. And what I also had that most didn't was brand, to the point where people who jumped on the sales calls with me actually felt starstruck. And I'm saying this explicitly because people told me this, that they felt starstruck on the actual call because they've watched so much of my content that it took literally 10 to 15 minutes for them to say yes to jump into my program, into my education course, right? And again, brand is what set me apart. It wasn't the expertise. It wasn't the years of experience. This is how you stand out. A personal brand backed by authenticity. And this is where you can start to have an abundant mindset and start to really see everyone as not even competition. More so, they're just in their lanes. I'm gonna pave my own lane that no one else can be in because no one's me. I'm one of one, right? As cliche as that sounds, you are the only person in the world with the looks, the characteristics, the traits, everything you have. You are the only person. And if people try to mimic what you're doing, they're not gonna be you, right? Because you are you. So that's the one thing I want you to focus on is people buy you. So with that in mind, if you look at these people now, what do all of them have in common? Well, I mean, obviously they have a lot of followers. They have, the verified badge and tick. But I guarantee you, they had a journey of self-reflection and authenticity. They had to really lean into what makes Chris Bumstead Chris Bumstead. For him, it's his lisp, right? That he plays into. It's this Daddy C-Bum that he plays into. It's the character, it's the traits, it's the things that only he can call it to himself. David Thurin, Rachel Paul, Matt Choi, all of these people as well have leaned hard into authenticity. And that's what made them different. They were never just better than the competition, they were different. And all different means is understanding who are you? Who are you and how can you show up online and show people the true you? And a lot of us hide behind self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fear, and I totally understand that, and that's completely normal, right? And it's the one switch that when you get over that hump, everything switches, right? Now, this is why you think your niche is saturated. I want to draw this to give you more of a visual. This here is what I was talking about before, is this is your top 1%. So whatever niche you're thinking of right now, health and fitness, business, finance, whatever else you want to get into, this is the top 1% of creators, top 1% of people. Everyone else in that niche, so let's call this niche weight loss just to keep it super simple. Everyone else who's a weight loss coach is just trying to copy. This is 99% of the market, trying to copy the top 1%. And what did we say before? For you to be able to stand out, for you to be able, right, to not just blend in, you can't compete on just doing better. You can't compete on just doing educational tips, tricks, and strategies. You can't compete on quality of content. You can't just copy and paste. You can't compete on expertise, years of experience, skill set, and qualifications. You can't compete on that because all of this is transactional. But what you can compete on is being more you, is being more authentic, right? This is you here. Most people and most gurus will tell you just to join the crowd, to join them. What I want you to do is join us, is lean into who you are and show that online and show that in the most brightest, loudest way possible. And to break this down to a super simple framework, which is what I teach with everyone in my Limitless Circle mentorship, is that if you want to inject authenticity into your content, you just need three things. You need personality, you need humor, and you need worldview and opinions without the fear of judgment. And once you can input these three things into everything you're doing online, you will start to create your own lane. You will start to be the one of one, right? I have another YouTube video that if you haven't watched yet, I'll link somewhere above here, that goes into how to actually build connection and build a brand with your audience. And it goes into how does personality and humor play into all of this. So give that a watch if you haven't already. And the worldview and opinions, you can probably see that this touches base into the biggest things that stop us, which is the internal fears of self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and fear of judgment. And until you can let go of that fear of judgment, you will always blend in. But what I want you to do for this year, for the next 12 months, is I want you to stand out. I want you to stand out by being more authentically you and not looking for any permission from anyone else to do what you feel like you want to do. And these are some people down here that I wanted to give as examples. We have Kanye, we have the Swifties, whoever watching this, if you guys are Swifties, let me know down below. And then we have Selena Gomez. Again, all of these people, they aren't competing on expertise. They're not competing on years of experience, skill set, qualifications, none of that. I can probably tell you, like, some of these guys didn't even go to singing school or XYZ, right? There are probably better rappers out there, more technically sound, better singers who are more technically sound. But why does Kanye, Taylor Swift, and Selena Gomez, I mean, you know, she's kind of a singer slash actor slash influencer. Like, why these people, why do they stand out in the industry? Well, it's because they have authentic worldviews. They're comfortable with who they are and what they preach, right? They back everything that they say online. And this is where I want you to be. This is how you stand out. It's not being better than Kanye West, being better than Taylor Swift, or being better than Selena Gomez. It's about being different. It's about being you, right? Sorry, I'm getting really passionate. I feel like I'm really getting aggressive with this. If you have any questions about this video or other YouTube videos that you've watched, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I've got some other freebies down below here for you. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Much love, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.